Hey, what's happening, everybody out there in the XRP community? Welcome back to Investment Perspectives. So, Dilip Rao sent us a message. A lot of great comments from you guys back and forth underneath the video. So let's talk about just a couple of those things. One of the main things that came up was why an analogous riddle, right, when a simple yes or no would have worked, right? I can only imagine the level of confidentiality that he has to be committed to. I chalk up the fact that he chose to respond in that manner, that was the best and smartest way for him to respond about his own statements that he made at the conference he was at. And I am still very, very grateful for him taking the time out to give us that. So I'm not going to read too terribly much into it. We went into it. I think we understand what it means. I think at the end of the day, if we, like the comments said, get to exist in the big ocean, which is the regular market, and we're the small fish in there. We just got to try not to get eaten by the bigger fish. And if we stay in the water long enough, who knows? Maybe we grow up to be a big fish ourselves. So I just think it's good news and a huge supportive sign from him to give us that encouragement as retail holders. To date, whether anyone believes it or not, don't believe it. It's still true. This is the first public response from anyone at that level at Ripple on the fact of whether the retail market will remain long-term or not. There are many people in the comments that have said, I never thought this was an issue. This was never a question for me. And that's fine. You're free to think that. But that was your opinion and it was your speculation. And that's what I love about this show and what we're doing here collectively as a group. I get a lot of blowback, and you wouldn't believe the amount of blowback that I got from a good, small, nice couple handfuls of people that told me I was creating FUD, I was creating problems, division in the community, talking about things that aren't even an issue. And you know what? All this speculation that we've come up with together back and forth has put us in a position where we're able to use the speculation to flush out facts from opinion. That's what we're here to do. And I can't say how grateful I am for all of you in here who have participated and contributed in us reaching that goal on this matter. For me, the retail market will remain long term, and it is no longer a question for me. Next up on the agenda. So, moving on. The title of this video, XRP Bull Run needs to be classified. We need classification. Now we know this, a little bit of this is overlapping, but I did see something that I wanted to bring in to show that there is consistency in compliance. And another little tidbit that I thought was nice, and I didn't know it, maybe you guys did. So let's look at this. So, still waiting for the legal classification. All right, so for people out there who are still thinking, and I get quite a good amount of people who don't believe that this is still a global effort, let's take a look. We had the G20 summit we talked about in the previous video, and for anybody who's just here, highly encourage you to go back and watch the last 2 to 3 videos from Marcus Treacher on up to now. Last video, or the video previously, we talked about the G20 summit and the global committee that was created, the FATF. And if I remember, that group is called, let me see if I can find it. It is the Financial Action Task Force. It is the global committee that is created to get global oversight over cryptocurrencies. And there is global compliance among everyone in the group. So, we remember that from the previous videos. So let's move on. I have an article here. It's a CoinDesk article, and I was reading it, and it was basically an article that had the U.S. Treasury regulator stating, and this is the title of the article, I believe. It says, this article states that U.S. regulators, or that states, the United States regulates, supervises, and enforcement over all digital assets and cryptocurrencies in general. That's what the article says. Now we know that there's the FATF. This I found to be interesting too. In this article, and I'm going to read this little caption because I think that it's just better if I just read it to you guys. It's only one little paragraph. Let's see if I can do it without train wrecking it. Here we go. So I will put, by the way, I'll put a link in the comments below. You guys will have this stuff. And if not, you can always go look on my Twitter too. And you can follow me on Twitter at BackupBradley. And the title is Average Joe Investor, but the tag is @BackupBradley. BackupBradley. All right, so here is the little paragraph here. While the United States regulates, supervises, and brings enforcement action relating to virtual currency and other digital asset financial activity, many more countries must follow suit. We have made this a priority in our international outreach, including through the Financial Action Task Force, FATF, what we talked about from the G20 summit, which the United States is currently serving as president. There you go. There you go. See what we're waiting on now? For all of the people who have been subscribing to the notion that everything is out here in its little own universe, that's the Wild Wild West. That's the old ideology. There's a new set of rules in town, and we've all talked about this, but this is more clarity on that matter, right? So the truth is there is global compliance, there is global consistency, there is committees and oversight in place, and I don't know about anybody else, but I just found out from this article that came out December 4th, just a couple of days ago, that the United States is the serving president at the moment on the FATF, which is the Global Oversight Committee for the G20. Boom. We need the clarity in the United States on XRP for our bull run, and actually for the floodgates to open, period. Which brings us to the next topic. And I think this is going to probably unfold, I would imagine, in a series of a couple videos, maybe more. We'll see. I don't know how long it would take to get into them. But the new platforms and exchange platforms that will be coming out. And what I'm speaking of is the big money ones. So we're talking about the ARIS-X. We're talking about the Fidelity Investments platform. DX.Exchange, which is the NASDAQ platform. Bakkt, which is the New York Stock Exchange platform. These platforms are enormous. It's not breaking news to anybody of the amount of money and the massive activity that it's going to create for this market as well as XRP. However, I was reading another article, and basically that article was saying that we're going to talk about ARIS-X for a second. ARIS-X had just gone through another fundraising round and raised another $27.5 million for its wallet to beef up what they're getting ready to launch, right? Now, what I found to be interesting is that they describe the platform to be able to cater to institutions and retail investors. I love that. So they also said that they will be trading Bitcoin, Ethereum coin, and Litecoin spots and futures contracts. Now, in my video a while back, will XRP have futures contracts? Highly recommend you go watch that. I do break down what a futures contract is. Quickly here, I'm going to give the difference between a spot and a futures contract. If we don't know, first of all, when I just said that ARIS-X is going to be offering spot and futures contracts on Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Litecoin, if you just had a light bulb go off and say, what the hell is that? I think that's a real moment that we should stop and recognize. Because you know what? The first time I heard the notion about futures contracts tied to any crypto, especially XRP, the light bulb went off in my mind and I said, what the hell is that? And that's exactly what you should say, and you should be in tune with that, and we should want to solve that and get an answer anytime that happens. And basically what it points to is the macro notion. The market's changing. the market is going to be brought into the traditional flow of how other commodities and things like this work in the current atmospheres and environments that these markets operate. So it just reminds me to remind myself, to say it to everybody else too, for the most part, a lot of us don't understand the language of traditional markets. And I don't know about you, but I plan on being around with my investment for a while, a long while. So for me, I feel it's imperative that we should know the language, or we're not going to be able to play the game or understand the game and understand how we're getting played. And that's how you get an analogy thrown at you that says, you're in an ocean with big fish and little fish. And I think we all know we're the little fish. So I don't really want to get eaten right away. I'd like to swim around, stay a while. Maybe I grow up to be a shark myself. I don't know. I know I'll never be a whale. But who knows? Maybe I get to be a shark. Anyway, the point is, if we're going to hold long term, and if you happen to be someone who plans on being in this market for a long period of time, we should know the terminology. We should know the languages. What are spot and futures? What's the difference? The difference is, futures contracts are something we both agree to buy that neither one of us are holding currently, and we agree to receive it at a later date. Spot contracts, or spots, are just simply cash on the spot. You're going to pay for something and you're going to get it right away, right? And that's what's going to happen with that. So that's the quick one on that. And I know I'm not going to get too deep on different terminologies, but I just wanted to show just a little bit of a reflection of what ErisX is planning on introducing. And I don't know about you, but first notion, when you hear all of this, imagine yourself looking at an app and seeing all these choices for these things. This is what I'm talking about. If we get ourselves to a place where we're comfortable with the terminologies and the different operating mechanisms and behaviors of markets, the better we have a chance to survive and not get eaten like the little fish do in the ocean. All right, guys, I'm going to kill it right there. Thank you for listening. It's been great. You guys are amazing. We cracked 2,000 subscribers. I can't tell you how happy I am. You guys are absolutely incredible. Thank you so much. I'm overwhelmed. Big shout out to CKJ at Crypto News. I love you, brother. You're amazing. Keep doing your thing. You're the best investigator in the YouTube XRP community player. All right, man. Thumbs up, everybody. Hit that like and subscribe. Leave me some comments below. We'll see you on the next one.